Hi everybody. What's that there? Looks like a scrotum. Just ignore I said that. Look at that, that's kind of cool. It's almost like a chair. Alright, anyway, so yeah, I just amongst just come out for a bit of a walk. Now I shouldn't really be messing with nature, but do you like the smell of trees? Do you like the smell of grass? It's a lovely smell, isn't it? Grass, trees, even like when it's raining and you've got that dampness of when you go into a woods or something, or you're near some trees and the leaves make a damp smell, and it's even that's quite a nice smell. It's because it's natural. And what I've done, and I know I shouldn't mess with nature, but I've taken leaves off, and what I've done is broken the leaves up and then smell it. So I smelt this leaf. If you break it up and smell it, you get that same smell that you do when you cut grass, and it's a really nice smell. Even you don't even have to break it up, but when you break it up, it's a stronger smell. That's it dying, I think. But that smell, I can smell it a little bit when it's a full leaf, but when I break it up and I smell it, it's stronger. The smell of that leaf smell, that grass smell, becomes stronger when you cut grass or you break the leaves off. Really interesting, but it is a nice smell. Even when you just smell leaves as a whole, or trees, and you go up to them and you give a whiff, and it's a really nice smell. It's a pleasant smell, and I think, as crazy as it sounds, I think that's what the world used to be like. And that was the natural smell, like in the past, how we smell perfume and aftershave and all these manufactured products now, in today's world. Back then, maybe what we think smells nice today is aftershave and all that. What they thought smelled nice, which was a natural smell, was leaves, plants, trees, grass. And it does smell nice. It's a very pleasant smell, especially you know, if it's a nice summer's day and someone's cutting grass, and that smell of grass is very, very strong because it's been cut. It's, you know, they've killed the grass basically, and but it is a nice smell. And that nice smell that you smell when someone cuts grass with a lawnmower is there if you go close to it and smell it. If you smell the grass, you put your nose to the grass, the smell is there, but you don't know. It's stronger when you cut the grass. It's stronger when you cut the leaves. But I had another theory that leaves, you get people smoke weed, smoke cannabis, smoke other stuff, even other drugs. I don't know what's in there. Something's in there. Don't know what it is. Something. Could be a squirrel. But all these drugs that people smoke, weed, all that stuff. And I just had a thought that leaves are such a nice smell that what if you were to take some leaves, grind them in a grinder, and smoke it? Smoke leaves, smoke nature. What do you think that would achieve? Do you think it would make you feel good? Do you think it would switch you on? Because I just had if it is a theory, you could even use a whole leaf. Not this one, because it's got whole. Well, let me just brush it down. and you could use a leaf as a spliff. So you could roll it up with some other leaves as a spliff and smoke it. I just had that theory. It was quite an interesting. I don't know. I just thought about it now because I was just ripping leaves up, just sitting, chilling, ripping leaves up off the floor mainly as well, and just smelling it. And it's a nice smell. I realised that smell that is pleasant, and it's been taken away from us. You know, it's part of nature. We used to be part of nature, but now they're taken away from us. You've got big concrete jungles that people live in, where there's no trees, there's no grass or anything like that, so they don't have that natural smell that could make you feel good. You know, the smell of grass, the smell of trees, and the smell of plants, and even just the aesthetic of it. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? Green is such a, I mean, ignore that there, but the aesthetic of it, naturally, it's beautiful and it's pleasant, and this is the stuff that we take for granted. But yeah. And then I had another thing as well about the dead leaves, what you could use dead leaves for, and you could put loads of leaves together, stick them together. You could make. I mean, I think we used to keep warm. We used to use dock leaves and all that stuff, and gather loads of leaves up and make huts and you know, and even just to keep warm, like today we use blankets we use cotton wool, and you know, to keep warm and other stuff in the modern times. But back then, I think maybe once upon a time, people actually used nature, leaves, tree trunks and grass, and you could have put it all together and made a blanket out of it, out of leaves and all that, and I think it would keep you warm. You know, and the medicine as well. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you get stung by a nettle. What do you use? You use a dock leaf, doesn't it? And how it doesn't take very long when you put a dock leaf on your skin where you've been stung, for it to heal. And they've taken everything that's natural, like dock leaves and other plants, and some of this will be food as well. You know, I guarantee some of this will be food. Dandelions are food. You can eat it, but you know, you're not taught that in school. They don't want you knowing that dandelions and some other weeds you can actually pick up and eat. Yeah, you can use them for spices. They don't tell you this. They just say, "Oh, it's weed. You need some weed killer," or you need to get rid of the dandelions, or just leave them be. You're not taught that in school, but you know, you're taught about the food pyramid. Interesting, a pyramid, isn't it? And you talk about how to budget on shopping, but you're not taught about how to grow food. You know, how to that there's food's all around us, that medicine's all around us, and all this. That this is natural perfume. We can use this as perfume, if you know what I mean. You know, you can even clean yourself with leaves, I reckon. You know, you could blend it in some liquid, and you know, with the right formulas, you can create your own soap naturally, rather than the crap that they're putting in stuff like Lynx and Nivea and all these big products that people buy these days. But yeah, you know, when you look at trees as well, like, you know, this tree here, amongst this little tree here, this is going to one day grow into a very big tree. And I just like listening to the birds tweeting. You know, it sounds much nicer listening to birds tweet than it does at the same volume. If you listen to this now, tweeting, imagine that being people just talking. It's amazing how birds tweeting sounds more pleasant at the same volume as people talking. It's weird. But yeah, I just thought about that. I've been smelling leaves and grass, you know, been around just nature in general. The feel of it is just amazing. It feels good, and I just sometimes I rip leaves off that are on the floor. You know, there's some leaves that are still green, I've just ripped them up and smelt them, and they're really nice to smell. When you rip them up, the smell, the fume, I don't know what you call it, you smell them more, and it's a nice smell. Trees, you know, like you got the reset, the Great Reset. They say about resetting the world. Well, how I look at it is, trees, they reset themselves, don't they? You know, the trees, they live, without us cutting them down or whatever, or weather, a lot of the time manufactured weather these days, like forest fires. Trees last forever. They're hundreds of years old. Some of them are hundreds and hundreds of years old. They last so long, and they're always resetting themselves every year, aren't they? They grow leaves. The leaves die off. They grow in the spring. The leaves grow in the spring. They thrive in the summer, and they die off in the autumn, and they're dead in the winter. But the tree still stands alive. And then again, because that's part of its function. A tree's function is part, you know, the leaves are part of the function of the tree. Like our cells are in our body, a function of our of us. You know, like how our hair is a function. It's not a function, sorry. Our hair grows like a leaf grow off a tree. But trees are amazing how they reset themselves every year. They you know, with the leaves, you know, the leaves die off the tree or fall off the tree, and then they grow back again. It's a natural process, and trees live forever. You know, they're very old. Some of these trees are ancient, have been around for hundreds of years, and it's peaceful, natural, you know. And I've talked about the living world, and they want to create the dead world. When you look at concrete jungles, you look at some of the buildings all over the world, right? You look at some of them are absolutely horrendous looking. That's hell. They've created hell on earth by creating these big council estates in the UK, or if you're in America, these big hoods, these neighbourhoods, these rough neighbourhoods where it's all in all these slums and all these, you know, horrible buildings, factories and terraced houses, for example. Victorian terrace houses, a lot of them just look absolutely appalling in the UK. They look awful. That's hell from all this. They've created hell on earth with the, you know, you look at the towns these days, especially in the UK. People say they're a shithole. They are shitholes. And I think they're manufactured shitholes. I think they were meant to be shitholes to make you feel depressed. A lot of the buildings these days are there to make you feel depressed. They're not beautifully created. They're just, you know, just like big tower blocks, horrible tower blocks. Why build them like that? Because they're cheap, and, you know, they see us as cattle, and that's where they want people living, and they don't care about their natural environments, and they're taking that away from us. They're taking all this away from us and what it means to be human. Alright guys, I'll leave it there. Cheers.